And finally, we're here at the good. You know, the shows that I love looking forward to each week, and they always leave me hanging, wanting more every time I watch them. And jumping right into maybe my favorite of the entire season, Aldnoah.zero, which is a mecha series written by Jin Urobuchi, which you know him as from Psycho Pass, Madoka Magica, Fate Zero, Fate, and all those shows like that. Gargantia, he was on it, but he wasn't really involved much, so I kind of don't really count that as like one of his shows. But Aldnoah.zero, basically about, I guess, people that discover like Martian tech on the moon, and they end up fighting these Martians years later. There's a whole timeline of like the events that lead up to this, going far back as to the Apollo missions, which is kind of weird why they went that far, but it is space travel, so they're going for that kind of route, which I like. So we have the Martians, which they're from Mars, so that's why they're called Martians, and they're attacking Earth because they sent a princess down who was going for peace talk, and they supposedly set this assassination thing, and they they do sort of kind of kill her, but I'm not going to reveal it. I mean, by now people have seen episode 1 and part 2, and 3 just updated. I haven't watched it yet, but in the end they revealed that she didn't die. In fact, that she was kind of sick at the time, and there was a body double, so they killed the body double instead of her. But that gave them permission to start a war, because they set up like, oh, the Earthlings killed the princess, and they have it all set up where she is the, I guess, the trigger for the war. And they start dropping these towers down, which basically are just, I wouldn't say, well, I guess they're like nukes almost, but they're basically towers. People actually live in these buildings, so these spaceship things. They crash into the Earth and they explode, and they wipe out millions of people. And each tower castle thing is ruled by a different person. Okay, so it shows you that not all these Martians are together. I mean, there are some that are kind of with the princess, some that aren't with the princess, and some that are probably, I would say, maybe in the middle, neutral. Which, they'll probably be swaying into joining one of the sides later on. I can see that easily later on. But yeah, so for this series, it's mecha, and each tower, like I said, I think there's like 13, or there's a bunch of them, but each tower has its own robot, and each robot has a different skill set. Episode 2 kind of really showed you that there are different types there. I mean, like, we saw the purple one that basically just walks, and it has this shield that whatever hits it basically disintegrates, and the Earthlings really don't have any overpowered robots. They have just basic machines. And these alien or Martians robots just destroy Earth like a matter of minutes. They wreck things and they kill people instantly. And for me, I'll be honest with you, I was kind of cheering for the Martians in episode 2, because just the level of destruction they bring is just like godly. And they even say it in the episode that they feel like they're gods because they have this technology that is vastly superior to the Earthlings. And what kind of makes me roll my eyes is the fact that they stole that technology, or it's not even really theirs. So they're gloating about technology that it doesn't really belong to them. They kind of just found it, and now they're using it against Earth. So that kind of aspect's kind of that makes you confused. And there's another character named Slain, who is a human that I guess is from Earth, obviously, and he is like this kind of servant to the princess. I don't know what you would call him. I mean, I know there's a word for it, but I guess servant is the word. And I think he kind of put the thought in her head that the Earth is not bad. They're just misunderstood. They need to be talked to, and that kind of pushed the princess to go to Earth, supposedly, I think. But yeah, Slane's like this. Everyone kind of refers to him as a Terrian or whatever he is, which is kind of a I guess racist term, because it means I think Earthling or scum or something like that. So all these other commanding officers kind of don't really like him, because he is an Earthling. So that's all started the negativity. In episode 2, he was supposed to kill these these jets that were fighting, and he refused to kill them. So, you know, everyone's looking at him like, well, he's just not going to kill anyone. So my question is, what is his role in the series? Is he going to turn and help the humans, which I assume that's what he's going to do, once he discovers the princess is in fact alive? And yeah, and on the flip side we have Inuvik, the main character for the Earth side, and he's kind of a emotionless, I guess, character here. He doesn't really have much emotion. Like episode 1, we only see him kind of, you know, he's kind of going through the motions of school and doesn't really have much personality. And that kind of sucks because I usually like a mecha series with a main character who has a personality, and he doesn't really have one. But yeah, enough about Aldnoah.zero. It's fun, it's good. If you like, you know, mechs action and, you know, dramatic moments where people get killed, you're gonna like this series. And the only negative side is Butcher only wrote the first 3 episodes while someone else takes over. And the other guy takes over, he did like, you know, Nikki, Ghoul, Fullmetal Alchemist original. So he did a lot of, he's written a lot of scripts and stuff for shows, or helped shows. But my question is, he's on Boku no Pico as well, which is kind of hardcore yaoi, and it's like, oh, what, why? But maybe he's got a plan, he's trying to, you know, get out of that. Who knows? Next would be, let's go with Akame ga Kill. You know, that one's fun. I read the manga up to 25 chapters, and I really love the characters. The assassin group is so much fun to watch. I mean, I love watching, reading them play off each other and watching them play off each other. It's easily some of the you know, standout moments for me, aside from like the action and some of the character deaths later on, which I won't spoil any of those because why would I do that? I mean, that's not very fun. And yeah, this one's kind of a story where we've seen before, where, you know, the local government is corrupt, you know, and the ones that are technically the bad guys are the good guys. So yeah, I mean, this has been done a few times. Fullmetal Alchemist, I just mentioned it in the other show. You know, it's a lot like that. So we have something similar to that, and but this one is more about the assassins. When they take these jobs, they go all the way. They don't stop and rethink it. They are going to kill whoever they are told to kill, because, you know, they're cleaning up the city. That's how they see it anyway. And judging on your perspective, you can see it as all this just senseless murder, or you see him doing justice. It's, you know, I guess you can see it either way. And again, I won't say much about it, but I like the animation. I like how it's not censored. It's a plus. It's a pro. You know, there's another show I think on this list that I'll complain about later that is censored, but yeah. Anyway, Akame ga Kill, I like that. It's fun. Watch it if you want. You know, like gore and you like violence and you like action, or you just like it because you want to see a unique cast. Personally, I'm waiting to see the other cast that's introduced, which is a team of elite soldiers for the government, which, once you meet them, I think people are gonna really like them. Just the dynamic they bring to the series is really fun. Next would be Barakamon, which is a slice of life comedy about a guy who's big into calligraphy. I guess in the past he was told his calligraphy is crap, it's not original, and he gets really angry at one of these judges and just punches him right in the face. He punches a really old dude who uses a cane to get around. He is kind of quickly labeled as violent, and no one really wants to talk to him. He's kind of outcast from this, I guess, calligraphy circle. Which to me, calligraphy is like, it's just writing, right? So, you know, what's so special about that? But I guess it's just, you know, just like a series called Chihayafuru, which is about this card game, Karata, which to me is just cards. You know, people memorizing a card and they slap it or hit it or grab it. And to me, that's kind of like, that's not really that interesting. Calligraphy, same thing, but I'm just guessing that's just a base to get people like, well, what's calligraphy? Why is it so important? So to get you into it. But this series isn't that. I don't think it's focused on that. I think it's more about this guy learning to accept that he needs to, you know, take criticism. You know, if someone says your stuff is not good, you don't punch them. You hold it in and just take it as they're, you know, trying to help you. But yeah, it comes off as being a jerk saying that. But yeah, that's how I feel with you know, when people criticize you or criticize your artwork, you You're not supposed to have an outburst. You just take it as criticism and move on and improve. But this one's more about this guy who goes to this island to, I guess, change his view on the world and maybe practice a little bit and find his uh, unique twist on calligraphy to change things. And he meets this little girl named Naru, who I think is going to be major in his life on this island. And when she is on screen, she just brings this ball of energy that you just can't stop watching her. The minute she's on screen, you just want to see what she's going to do next. And she's sort of hyperactive. I would say that would probably turn people away from that series in a heartbeat if they see this little girl just constantly annoying the main guy when he's trying to work. It's like, let him work, damn it. But I think that's just her role. She's just a goofball. And not just her, there's other people on this island that kind of bring this unique personalities and stuff. And I would say if you saw the Wolf Children movie, this is a lot like that, minus the supernatural. I mean, why I say it's similar is because this guy lives in this like rundown building that, you know, it's kind of crap, and all these people keep visiting and they just walk in. They don't really knock, or I mean, some characters knock, but in the end, there are always people walking into this guy's life, and that's why I say Wolf Children's like this, because it's the same with that one. I mean, the girl had all these people in her house helping her, all this stuff like that. So yeah, it's kind of similar. And I just like Naru. She's just so much fun to watch. And after that, we go straight to Gekkan Shoujo, which is the other shoujo that I was talking about in my decent list. And Gekkan's just, you know, really funny. I like how things are blown out of proportion or taken out of context. Like episode 1, the main girl's talking about bikes. You know, like she's like, oh, you know, riding a bike and hanging on to the guy in front of you is really romantic. I like that in the story. And the main guy, who's kind of, you know, kind of dumb to romance because he's never had a girlfriend or done anything romantic in his life. But yet he's writing these shoujo mangas. He's really famous. And he does this thing where he animates a bike that's got like 3 or 4 seats on it, and she's just, you know, that scene just had me dying. Like, he's like, I saved the next seat for you. It's just, I don't know, it was just funny the way it was animated and it came off. And the guy's reaction just made me laugh so much. The girl's reaction just had me laughing. And the basic story is this girl likes this guy, and she is ready to confess to him, but she ends up saying something else, and he gives her an autograph, and she discovers that he's this manga artist that she really likes reading, and she is kind of his assistant right now. So every week I think they're going to introduce a new character who brings their own twist to the series. Introduced last week this redhead who is like kind of a tsundere male, I guess. It's kind of rare to see that, but he is. And he just had me laughing. And they revealed that the main dude kind of put his focus on the redhead as his inspiration for the manga character he created, which is a girl who is very tsundere in his manga. And it's very funny, I don't know. Gekkan Shoujo just brings this hilarious side to shoujo for me that I'm tuning in for the comedy, but maybe I'll get a payoff and get a little, you know, extra romance on the side with these two main characters. Who knows? But yeah, it's fun. I like it. I love the main girl. She's just really cute, and yeah, it's fun. Next to be Hunnam Yamata, which is about a girl who has no drive to do anything. She's very shy and doesn't want to try anything new because she's failed constantly over and over and over again. And to her, she's just like, that's not what I want. I don't want to fail. I don't want to do anything. So we have her set up, you know, Naru's all set up here with that for her background. And she sees all her other friends, like she has a friend at school who's in this like a music club. She's playing music, playing the drums, having a good time, you know, doing something with her life. While her life at the current time isn't much. She has no drive to do anything until she meets a girl named Hana, who is a blonde girl from New York, I guess, transferred over to Japan for some reason, because I guess she likes the culture, and she's big in this dancing. I blank on the name of the dance, but she wants to build this club where it's about dancing, and she wants to do it with other people so badly, but you know, Hana's kind of hyperactive, very in your face, very clingy, and she kind of butts heads with the main girl for the first episode because she's trying to recruit her, and she's like, "No, I'm not joining your club. No, 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 no." And close to the end, she kind of realizes that she's just being friendly, and she just wants friends, and she eventually does join the club because it's like, I guess she gets inspired by Hana to at least try something. And for me, it's almost like a sports anime in a way where you have someone who's never experienced this sport who sees someone playing and they're like, "Oh wow, that's really cool." Like we saw in Yasumichi Pedal, and we saw in like Baby Steps. You know, those two shows are basically kind of like this series about someone who's never done this sport, who's not very athletic, who is, you know, attempting something new and giving it their all, and they're gonna train hard, and eventually they're gonna get good at it, and I'm hoping that. So, but yeah, this is by Madhouse, and it's very colorful. If you liked No Game No Life, you're probably gonna like this based color-wise. If you didn't like that series because the colors are too blinding, you may not like this, but there's more of a slice of life Moe's thrown into the Hunnam Yamata. And the opening, I swear, I think I watched it over and over again when I saw it on YouTube for the first week. It's got this weird 3D CGI, 2D dance scene in the opening, and I like that. So I'm looking forward to seeing the girls actually dance, and yeah. For me, I just like how inspirational it is. It's a girl who hasn't done this before, and it kind of, you can see the interest that she's getting, and it's like, wow, you know, it kind of makes you want to do something new and do your best and things like that. And it's kind of cheesy saying that, but that is what those shows are. I mean, sports shows are like that. I mean, in the end, that's what it's really about. You know, the underdog, someone who's struggling, he doesn't know what he's doing, and they actually do it. So that's why I like this show. And next would be Sabiga, which is about a girl who joins a gun survival club. Which, if you saw like a show called Yupote, it's like that, or C3BO, which is sort of similar, but not. This show is not as dramatic. I would say it's comical like Defrag of last couple seasons, and that had me laughing. This has me laughing, and for a show, a comedy to pull off as many laughs as I had with only 2 episodes, you know, I would say that's a success, and they get two thumbs up from me that they've done their job. And the character-wise on this, I would say Momoka, the main girl, she has pink hair, and she's kind of, you would think, oh, she's this cute girl who's gonna be so friendly and so nice. But no, if you mess with her, like bully her, she will get her revenge on you in a heartbeat, and she doesn't care if she has to get very physical, and she does that, or lean towards more psychological on her side. With episode 2, she kind of bullied this girl using natto, which you see in the anime, it's sticky bean paste. Looks kind of gross, looks slimy, and she psychologically tormented this other girl with that, you know, putting her in a bath of like natto and in a bikini, or well, maybe she was naked, and that kind of scarred this girl, for like mentally scarred her. So Momoka is capable of, you know, physical abuse and mental abuse, and you would think, oh, that sounds terrible, it sounds evil. Like, no, it's more done in a comical way. She's not doing it out of spite. I mean, like the second episode, the twin tail girl Yura kind of pushes her to the point where Momoka has to get physically violent and punches her in the face, but Yura doesn't cry and go screaming, run off screaming. She kind of likes it. She likes being abused physically, so she's got an M side. So we got that kind of twist. You got the bossy club president who's kind of the badass of the group, and then you have like the fan service girl, which is the one that was in the natto bath, and then you have the quiet, silent cosplay girl who's always cosplaying as different outfits, and she's cosplaying currently as Jill Valentine from a video game, Resident Evil. And so that kind of caught me off guard. It made me laugh. It's hilarious to me to see that, and the action moments are kind of good. I mean, the artwork's not the best. It's kind of an old school artwork, but I like it. And yeah, the characters, I think, drive the show in the comedy. It's very, 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 very funny. Even the narrator claims that this is not a dramatic show. He's like, this is going to be a very funny show, not going to be too serious. So if you're going into thinking, oh, it's gonna be a serious show, don't even think that. So yeah, that's that show. And next would be Space Dandy, which is the similar as the first half. More comedy, more laughs, more Dandy doing his thing. Even though I'm kind of one episode behind, I'm still watching it here and there. And Dandy is just fun. This is really fun to watch. And there's not much to say about it other than if you're watching it, you're probably still watching it if you watch the first half. That's just what it is with that show. Next would be Tokyo Ghoul, which I was going to complain about because there's heavy censorship in that show for certain scenes. I mean, not everything's censored, but yeah, that one's about, it's basically humans versus ghouls and how the ghouls have to eat the humans to survive. And we get a main character who's a human in the beginning who gets kind of transformed into half human, half ghoul through an accident. So yeah, he's kind of screwed right now because he doesn't really know how to deal with this, and he's afraid that his friends are gonna figure out what he is. And the ghouls in this universe are hunted, obviously, because they're eating people. So it's like they're like zombies. So it's like we don't want that around. So he's kind of quickly recruited. I guess not really recruited, but kind of like I would say adopted, pulled into, what do you want to call it, into this group of ghouls that aren't technically evil. I mean, they do have to eat people in the end. That's kind of something that's you can't really avoid it, because the main guy tried to eat regular food and he just can't eat it. It just tastes very awful to him. And yeah, so he's put into this group, and they're gonna slowly train him and teach him the ways of being a ghoul. And there's these cops that are kind of after him in particular, because I guess the ghoul that he was, I guess fused with, or what do you call it, went on a eating rampage and was eating tons of people. So you got these two detectives, these cops are after him. So they make him get a mask, which explains why he's wearing a mask in the trailers. I was confused on that, but I would say my other complaint would be the main guy's kind of a wimp. He does cry a lot. He's not used to his powers. I would say he's just like almost like the guy from Dead Man Wonderland, in terms of character-wise, or Shinji. I know that's kind of a low blow to say, but yeah, I mean, I do know his current situation is screwed up. I mean, how would I deal with being turned into half a zombie? I don't know. It's probably the same way. I'd be scared and afraid of hurting people. So I can kind of understand where he's coming from. So I mean, for that I can forgive him. But yeah, Ghoul, I think if you're not into heavy censorship and you want to see the blood, you want to see the action, I've been told you're better off reading the manga, which I might do. Or wait for the Blu-rays. I mean, that's the only other option, which might take a while, to be honest with you. So yeah, that's Tokyo Ghoul. I mean, it's interesting, it's fun. I like the opening. Characters are cool. And yeah, main guy just a little bit of a wimp, but I understand why. I can totally get it. I understand. And next would be Tokyo ESP, which I recently saw the first 2 episodes, and that's kind of a X-Men, Index, Unlimited, all the kind of superhero shows you want to throw in. It's a lot like that. These characters are given powers, and they, either use them for good or evil, which episode 2 kind of showed you a flashback to where one character that we saw in the first episode was using it for good, in the past was using it for evil purposes, for stealing things. So we have that, and in the first episode they kept talking about the white-haired girl, and it kept me thinking, like, who's this girl they keep talking about? How powerful is she? And we do see her in the second episode, where she gets her powers and what their powers are, and in my opinion, her powers really aren't that special. It's just she's able to phase through objects like Kitty Pryde from the X-Men. So for me, it's like, is that a good extreme power? Not really. I mean, in my opinion, it's kind of a weak power. I mean, compared to like the likes of like Misaka, who from Railgun has the ability to control electricity. That to me is very powerful, and you fire beams out of it. The Unlimited, we had the main guy who basically had every single power, which can do whatever he wants with that. And yeah, compared to like Hamatora, I would say the power sets are better in Tokyo ESP because I like the powers. And yeah, the flashback was cool because they're setting up how she met these characters and how she builds this team. And I think it's going to show you that a lot of them use their powers for negativity and like, evil purposes. And even her dad has powers, which is kind of weird. But yeah, fan service in this series will probably turn you away. Episode 2, main girl's naked within 90 seconds of the episode, which for me is not bad because I liked Kei and Nico. She was often, you know, naked in her episode, obviously. But yeah, that's just me. For ESP, I like that. I mean, animation-wise, it's not the best, but it's got some decent artwork. Fights are cool, and I want to see more of the powers. I'm curious about the powers. So, yeah. And now, finally, the last good series, well, great series, I would say, Zanku no Terror, or Terror on Tokyo, whatever you want to use. And this is kind of about two terrorists who steal this plutonium bomb in the, I guess, past, and their struggle with what happened in the past to them, and their basic code name 9 and 12, which kind of caught me off guard, you know, with being a terrorist show and them bombing buildings, you know, 9 and 12. Obviously, they're hinting at 9/11. I mean, that's a thing they're doing, but they went with 12 instead of 11, which I can see why. Doesn't take a rocket science to figure out why they chose a different number for him. But anyway, 9 and 12 are these terrorists who basically want to cause destruction and mayhem. But at the same time, episode 2, I don't think they're trying to kill anyone because that first attack didn't kill anybody. There's only a couple injuries. In the second episode, no one died in the episode either, due to their attacks. So it's like, are they really trying to kill someone? I don't think so. So I don't think it's for revenge. I think it's for a message to get across that they want people that did things to them in the past, because they ran away from something back when they were children. So it tells me that there's some government group or something they're probably experimented on, trained to be killers. There's a bunch of options you can go with that story, but yeah, 9 and 12 I think are doing this to get a message across, because there's a bunch of people that episode 2 that saw the message of VON, which means hope in another language, that kind of freaked out when they saw that was brought up, and they're like, we can't let this information leak out. So that's my theory on it. I think 9 and 12 are trying to expose the people that did these things to these children when they were younger, and yeah, they're gonna expose the government for training these assassins or whatever you want to call them. I mean, I don't know what really happened, but since it's anime, you can't rule out experimentation on these characters or something out of this world that, you know, would be kind of confusing. And yeah, so in 9 and 12 do these terrorist attacks, and there's another girl named I forgot her name. Well, anyway, she's introduced, and she's got kind of a background too that's kind of screwed up. She's being bullied at school. Her home life isn't very good. I mean, they reveal episode 2 that her mom is clingy because her husband left her and she's just there with her mom. And so my mom's scared that she's gonna be left behind or left as well. So that's why we saw these text messages in episode 1 from her mom. And for that girl, I think it's just all this stuff that's piled up was why she was getting sick and puking. So it's just, you know, it's stress for her. She's being stressed out. And yeah, so like I said, I think they're trying to make a message get across, and you know, it's very weird. And I am confused on what's going on. I was told episode 2 is a big shift in one of the characters, and I'm kind of confused on which character they're talking about. I was like, is it 9? Because 9 had this massive grin on his face. He's the quiet glasses guy, and he had this grin on his face, so I'm guessing that's the character shift. Because episode 1 he's kind of cold, he doesn't have an expression. While 12 is very expression, he has tons of expressions. He's crazy, he's goofy, and he's kind of a little bit yondery. He does get a little, you know, too close to the main guy, and I think there's something going on that he might reveal his colors here soon. But yeah, he's toying with the girl because she saw what they did, and you know, she was an accomplice. So it's like, if if you tell him what we did, I'll kill you. He told her with like a creepy face. He's not saying it just to be saying it. I think he's gonna keep his word. So yeah, she's kind of pushed into this group, and she may end up joining these terrorist attacks later on. So maybe she'll become one of the numbers. So who knows? But yeah, this one's got really great animation. It's probably the best animated show of the season, next to Aldnoah.zero in my opinion. So yeah, I mean it's cool seeing a show like from a different perspective. We're seeing it from a terrorist point of view, and I'm really hoping they keep to their word and stay a terrorist. I really don't want 9 to realize, oh, this is bad, and switch personality where he's, trying to stop 12 from doing these attacks. I don't want that. But yeah, that's my things on Sabiga no Terror and the rest of the shows. I would give this overall season, if I had to rate like out of 10, it's probably a solid 8. And there's a lot of solid shows that are just like amazing. And then there's plenty of shows that are kind of would take it down to like a 5, but 8, I'm sticking to 8. But yeah, talk to you guys next time for maybe just a review on something, a series review. We'll see what happens. But yeah, for now, see you guys later. Peace.